Given the global economic situation today, it is imperative that every organization must have an effective sales strategy, but also have an effective sales team. How do you make sure that you have both of those? Well, to talk to us about those important matters, we have an expert in this field, Dr. Praba Sinha. He has written a number of books about sales, but also is the co-founder of ZS Consultancy, a marketing and sales consultancy organization. Thanks indeed for coming through to talk to us, Doctor. Again, a slew of economic data pointing to the fact that the consumer is in an unhealthy position. How do you ensure that sales aren't affected by that kind of situation?
So, you know, when the environment is, you have some negative news, it's not uniformly so for an industry or a company. Even within the same industry, you will find people who are doing well and people who are doing poorly, given the same environment. So the strategy one uses depends on who you are in such an environment. So if, for example, if most people are doing poorly, but some people are doing well, then a sales strategy can be very aggressive in terms of trying to win against your weaker competitors. If you are one of the weaker companies, then a lot of the focus of a good sales force is on retaining current customers and current people. So you see, if you are a winner in a down market, you get more aggressive in acquiring customers and people. If you are down in a down market, you have to kind of retrench and focus on keeping your current customers, keeping your best people, so the whole strategy shifts to a different place. So different players in the same environment have to do different things.
It's very interesting. So the point about it is that a good strategy is a strategy that changes given the environment, that adapts to an environment.
Right.
So, but on the whole, then, what makes for a brilliant sales strategy in a company, in an organization?
Okay. So maybe we should decompose when we say what's a good sales force, what's a good sales strategy, and into four things. Okay. First is the strategy, which is what are we trying to achieve, where are we trying to go, who are our target customers, what products and services are we going to bring to them. That's piece one. Second piece is what kind of organization do we have to make this happen? How many people, how are they organized? Are they organized by product or market or customer? What part of the country has how many people? Those are structural questions. The third question is what kind of people do we have? And the fourth question is how do we make sure that our strategy and structure and people execute? So we have to think of all four elements as an effective sales force. You can have the best strategy, and if you don't do well downstream, it'll fail.
But that's very difficult because you've got to have all four aligned.
Aligned, exactly. So you have to have your strategy aligned with your people. So for example, suppose the environment is very difficult. Then the kind of people that are more successful in a difficult environment are more assertive salespeople. Suppose the environment is or a particular market segment or market is friendly and growing. The kind of people that do better are the people who work harder. So the kind of person you need in different environments, different company, different situations are different. So the strategy still has to link to the people, then to the strategy, to the structure, to the people, and to the execution.
Just talking about people in an environment, again, where you have a slew of this bad, negative economic data, the people are the target. Everyone wants a good salesperson. How do you retain good talent?
Okay, so I think that the idea for sales talent and for customers is actually the same, which is that customer retention, salesperson retention is the number one growth strategy. The number one growth strategy is not to find new customers, is to keep your current ones. The number one salesperson's retention strategy is to keep your current best people. So the question is, how do you keep people? So you know, so people are attracted to, there are things that motivate people which are intrinsic and extrinsic. So when we say intrinsic, people like cultures that are friendly, that are supportive, that make them succeed, and in sales that means help them sell. And then there are extrinsic things like incentives, recognition programs. So you have to align both these two in order to keep people.
If you were to comment on the current practices around sales in South Africa, how would you? Are companies good? Are they bad? Are they average?
I don't have a good visibility on South Africa. I have to pass on that one. I'm more informed about the US.
And in the US?
In the US, you know that sales force is actually reducing in size overall in the US. And the reason is that when the economy is either flat or growing at a very slow pace of 1.5% in the US, people are very profit focused rather than top line focused. They're bottom line focused. So they're cutting costs wherever they can. And a common strategy they use in the sales force is to take tasks that an expensive salesperson does and do it using a less expensive resource. For example, an inside salesperson. So for example, prospecting, finding new customers. When it was very top-line focused and the economy was growing, a lot of salespeople were spending a lot of time prospecting. But now people have figured out that it's much cheaper, much easier, much more efficient to have an inside person do the prospecting and then hand the lead to the salesperson. That way you save a lot of money.
But is it good? It may save you money, but is it good for the company?
So it's good when you're bottom line focused, when you don't have the growth opportunities. But of course, even in the US, there are markets which are doing well. So in which case, so for example, even in the computer industry, if you think about it, the tablet market is doing well, but the desktop or laptop market is not. So as you look at those two segments, there are different sales strategies being applied in those two markets by sometimes the same companies.
Thank you very much for joining us.